Hello, hello, hello. It's live. What's up there, Henry Jones? How's it going? Let's see. That's Graph Designs. Graph Designs. Hello, hello. So, good evening, everybody. So we'll be getting going here in just a little bit. Let's get this party started. So, Theo Gibson, hello, hello. Jeremy Chastain, hello. Evan, hello. How's it going? Nicole Rogers, hello. Chris Anderson, how are you doing, brother? All right. Omar, okay, Omar. Got you, Omar. PN Dub, what's going on, fam? How's it going? And there's my daughter, Vo Vibe. She's in the house. Dulce Maria. Hello, hello. Rather Creator, how's it going? She's in the house. What's going on? Shari Mack, how are you doing? How are you doing? So greetings to everyone on this upcoming new year. Man, it seems like 2021 just like went whoosh. And now we're getting ready to come into 2022, man. What a year. What a year. Let's see. Arnitha, you don't have Facebook on your phone, man? Come on now. You got to get it downloaded, Arnitha. Come on. Get back in the family there. All right. The Dark Goddess is in the house. Hello, Dark Goddess. Melvin Reed, hello. Let's see. All right, Arnitha, you're saying your growth is massive in a short period of time. That's what this stuff does. It doesn't take long. Once you start working it, So it works you for sure. Hey, Yo, Kimi, hello. How's it going? And Ivory Crump, what's going on, Ivory? Good to see you. And Tawana Clark, the Dark Goddess is in the house. Hello. All right. Kiona Monique, hello. So I'm seeing a lot of different names in here. Some of the regulars. I appreciate y'all being here, and then seeing some new names too. So Angela Rice is in the house. She is here. Hello, Angela. Sorry, nobody. What's going on? Good to see you. Good to see everybody here tonight. Let's see. The Pleasure Funny and oh yeah. The ox and the ass. But that's the official name, though, Dulce Maria. The ass. It's an ass. So, I mean, I didn't do it. They made it up. I just did it. I just used the word. But I cuss anywhere I can. So it's like, it kind of just rolls mellifluously off my tongue. I can't even say the word, but it is what it is. Martha's in the house. What's going on, Martha? Good to see you. All right. Let's see. Courtney, the SLP, what's going on? Good to see you. Hey, you getting the hang of the cussing, Dulce Maria? Hey, Dulce Maria, I'm telling you, some well-placed cuss words is like, man, it's freedom. Sometimes a good expletive is the only way you can really express it. It just fits right in there. But there is an art to it. Because we can hear. I hear some people they don't know how to cuss, man. It's like, why you put that word right there? That doesn't even fit. But me, I'm like an expert, an expletive expert. That's what it's up. That's what's up. All right, Chris Anderson gave $4.99 out the box. Thank you, Chris. So let's get this party started. He's glad to be here. Glad to have you here, brother. Glad to have you here. Oh, man. Let's see. All right, Empress Queen Delighting One. Hello. I be trying to read those long names, man. Y'all got to shorten that stuff up. So like Courtney, the SLP, that's a good short, just regular name. Thank you, Courtney, for doing that. Then y'all come up with these other long names, or they spell some kind of way and want a brother to read them out. Come on, y'all got to help me. Let's see. Is it goddamn or goddamn? I think either way you can do it, Henry Jones. I mean, it's like tomato, man. I mean, just let it flow. They'll know what you're talking about, So sometimes it's not the pronunciation. It's just like it's the translation. That's what works. So Lawrence Fisher gave $5. Thank you, Lawrence. Appreciate that. So yeah, so don't get too hung up on the semantics. Just make it flow. That's what I'm talking about. Let's use Courtney was thinking about making it shorter. Now you're good. It's good. Yours is I can read it, so I can understand it. So you're good. Lisa Moore, what's going on? How are you doing? It's good to have you here. So yeah. So we can get rolling tonight. So I'm Reginald Kuakaru. And I'm the founder of Kemetic Centered Living. And I help people get over negative Christian programming so they can live the life of their dreams and live life on their terms. Because we don't understand how this negative programming really affects us a lot of times. Even people that have been out of Christianity for a long time, we don't even consider it. We don't think about how ingesting ideas like I'm nothing without God, or I'm a wretch, or these ideas of just that's pounded into us of being helpless, that we can't do things ourselves. So these ideas, man, they wrap themselves all around our psyche. They wrap themselves around us in ways that we just don't even consider. I mean, it's like when you lack confidence, it ends up being a barrier and a wall to you. Because think about if you you're working on a job that you hate, and you want to leave that job, you want to go get something better. Well, if you lack confidence in yourself, you lack the ability to even see like your own self-worth and your own skills and abilities and what they're worth. You're putting yourself down like, hey, I'm nothing without God. Hey, you don't even talk about the good stuff about yourself because that seems like that's prideful. Now, if you're going to go for a new job, you have to know what's good about yourself and be able to articulate it. And if you're not used to doing that, you're not going to go on a job interview and then be able to tell them why they should hire you. You can't sell yourself because you're not even used to doing that. You're not even used to talking good about who you are, because you've been having this program running in you that to say something good about yourself is prideful and negative. Other people can say something good about you, but you can't say something good about you. That kind of stuff, I mean, it wraps itself around your psyche and it limits you in so many ways. What if you want to go start a business, and you're not used to even knowing what is the good stuff about you? You're not even used to talking about it. How do you tell somebody how good you are, and why should they come to you? Why should they come do business with you? You're not used to even saying the good stuff about yourself, So these things limit us in our communities, and we see the fruits of it in our own communities. How many communities, and just in the United States alone, how many Black communities are self-sustaining economically? Where they have grocery stores, they have hotels, they have clothing stores, they have cleaners, mechanic shops. I mean, how many communities that are concentrated, that have a concentrated number of Black people, are self-sustaining in that way, where they have cash or businesses that circulate within that community, circulate the money within that community? Okay. But then on the flip side, think about how many of these Black communities have churches and how many churches they have in these communities. Okay. So I'm not saying that churches are the sole culprit of it, but it is the sole culprit of us constantly affirming the negative about ourselves. That happens all the time. Every Sunday, we have church people that argue for their own limitations. So I want to fix that. And to me, the only way, well, I won't say the only way, the best way to do that is to first go to the original teachings so you can get rid of this old stuff, this crap that we've been taught as religion. The original Kemetic teachings, which is where Christianity came from. And I talk specifically about Christianity because that's my experience. I haven't lived as a Muslim. I haven't lived as practicing Judaism or anything like that. But I have lived as a Christian. I grew up that way, my family. So that's why I talk about Christianity. And people will come to me like, well, why are you always talking about Christianity? Because that's what I lived. You know, I don't go and try to be all things to all people. I can't do that. Don't want to. But when I understand the psychology of people that have been Christian because I was there, okay, I've lived that, okay. So yeah, so that's where we go with that. So Martha gave $20.22. So thank you, Martha. And Empress, the Enlightened One, gave $5. Thank you very much. And that's Tana B. Gatlin gave $20. Thank you. Man, y'all just flowing with it tonight. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So yeah, so getting over this negative programming, guys, is really one of the foundational principles that I operate by, is that I don't think that we're ever going to be able to expand our communities until we can basically fix who we are inside. Because even one of the Kemetic principles is that that our outside is really representative of what's inside us. Okay, so we can't build something. If you think about it, anything that has ever been built or created in the physical world first had to start in somebody's mind. I don't care what it's a car, it's a table, it's a nail, it's a hammer. I don't care what it is. Somebody had to first come up with the idea in their mind and then push it through to manifestation into the real world. How does that happen? Is it just by accident? Okay. So this is a thing. These are the things that we got to think about. We don't even consider those ideas the way I just stated it. How does something that was in your mind push through and manifest into the physical world? There's a science behind it. And that's what I'm teaching with the classes and stuff that I do. I'm teaching that type of stuff. So yeah. So the science of it and this science, once you ingest it, once you start to learn it and start to practice and apply, not just read something and they go, oh yeah, that's interesting. You're going to do the same thing you did yesterday. Nothing's going to change. So until you apply it and start applying it in your life to make changes in your life, nothing changes. That's why this idea of knowledge is power, that's BS. Applied knowledge is power. So just reading a book, that doesn't give you power. Not at all. It might give you some knowledge, but what can you do with it? You know, and if you don't do anything with it, then there is no power behind it. So quit spreading that lie, knowledge is power. Please. It's applied knowledge. And if you can't apply it, you have no power. Plain and simple. So I wanted to talk today about just briefly about the idea of Jesus in the manger. Okay. So he's little baby Jesus was, supposedly put in the manger, and then there were animals and Mary and Joseph. They were all in the manger with him. Okay. So understand that a lot of these biblical ideas are really very simple, universal principles, is what they are. And if you don't have the keys to decode the stories, then you accept them as history, which most of us have done. So the esoteric, we don't have the esoteric keys to really decode the exoteric BS that we get or have gotten. So, and Jesus in the manger, and understand that if you've watched what my last video, what was that on? I can't even remember. Once I do them, guys, they're gone. So in my mind, but I did a video on I can't remember my last video that I did, but I talked about what Jesus was and turning water into wine. But the idea of what Jesus was, and Jesus is the Greeks personifying an idea. Okay, that's what Jesus is, and the Catholics and the Romans came and made it 300 years later. They made Jesus a historical figure. Okay, but Jesus is the personification of the aha moment. That's what Jesus is. Okay, the aha moment, like, oh damn, man, oh wow, now I get it. That's a Jesus or a Christ moment. Okay, you all of a sudden the light bulb came on. You're enlightened. Okay, so as a personality, it's something that is an aspect of all of us as human beings, not one special individual. Okay, so in a simplified form, that's what Jesus represents. It's a personification of that. Oh wow, I get it now. Okay, all right. So when we're talking about that, then we got to understand there are other aspects of us as people, and the ancients a lot of times represented our natural, instinctual, habitual tendencies as animals. Okay, they call our even our human body, we are it's like the animalistic tendencies of us. Okay, well, we got we got Jesus, that aha moment. Okay, and then we got two animals in this manger with little baby Jesus. All right, little baby Jesus in the manger. And so, but we got two specific type of animals though. So we got an ox, and then we have a mule. Okay, an ox and a mule. And if you know anything about a mule is a cross between a horse and a donkey. So usually a male donkey and a female horse. Okay, these two animals are a mule is essentially sterile. Okay, it cannot produce, it cannot reproduce itself. Okay, it cannot have offspring. And an ox is a castrated bull. Well, a castrated bull cannot reproduce either. What's needed to reproduce is gone. Okay, so these two animals represent basically the same thing in two different animals. They represent two different things. So I mean the same thing, and that thing is the symbolic idea that they're representing is the idea of a spiritualized soul that has that is in balance in a sense. Okay, a spiritualized soul that has they're balanced, and they both they're both are in unison, and they become one. Okay, so they don't. So in that sense, it's a soul that no longer, or it's androgynous. That's the word I'm looking for. This soul is now androgynous, but they've reached a level of spiritual perfection. And once you reach that level of spiritual perfection, you're balanced. Okay, and this can be for male or female. All right. So Jesus, and remember, there was a part of a story where Jesus rode into Jerusalem on a mule or an ass. Okay. Now, if you look back into the Egyptian symbolism, y'all will notice that one of the symbols for Atum is a mule with ears. Okay. And this representing the same idea. Okay. Some spiritual being that's balanced. But Jerusalem, symbolically or esoterically, is the city of light, or the city that we all ascend to, in a sense. Okay, so it's a city where there are enlightened souls. That's what Jerusalem is supposed to mean symbolically. Okay, it never was an actual town until we made it one later, of course. But Jesus rode into, so the aha moment obviously brought Jesus, or that individual, to a level of enlightenment to where it could conquer the mule and ride in triumphantly into the city of light. Okay, but I digress. I detoured there. Let me go back to the manger. Okay, so in the manger, little baby Jesus represents the aha moment and becoming spiritually balanced. That's the simple way to put that idea. Okay, so never was a historical happening, never occurred in history. But if you want to find the truth of these ideas, then you have to go back and look at the Kemetic teachings. Okay, so that's it. That's what that idea of Jesus in the manger represents. So you can probably go into more detail where it was, the manger, Mary, Joseph. All of those are going to have symbolic representations too. But just that story, that particular story, that's what it's about. Simple stuff. And most of these stories, when you have the esoteric keys, you'll find that the simple explanation, or that they are a very simple explanation of universal principles. Plain and simple. Okay? So that's it. So see, Sheldon said, yeah, the mule can represent the stubborn, a stubborn mind. Absolutely, you're right. You know, but again, Jesus riding the mule has conquered the mule. So that stubborn person that you are, the mule head, because I can be a mule head about a lot of stuff. You know, I've told you I've had my butt kicked plenty of times by life. But Jesus riding in on the mule means that was an enlightened moment where you conquered whatever that was, that beast. You conquered the beast. Okay, so good stuff. Love JJ's in the house. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you. So that's it. So if you want to understand the esoteric keys, man, I got a whole video series, and I got playlists on my channel, on this channel, that I put into different categories of interest. And one of those interests is the esoteric breakdown. I did a 6-part video series on the esoteric breakdown of some of the biblical stories and stuff. So it would be interesting to anybody that wants to understand that esoterically. Let's see. All right. Okay. So now questions. So looking for questions. Let's do this thing. Let's do this. All right. Okay. Let me go back. I'm looking. Let's see. Jesus was not religious. No, Jesus never existed. So not as a person. As an idea, yes, but not as a person. All right. Let's see. Okay. Didn't have any questions up there. Didn't have any up there. Okay. I guess I made that clear as mud then. Well, I guess this meeting is over. No, it ain't over. Okay. I'm here till 8. So Nita May says start over. No, you're gonna have to watch it, Nita May. Come on. So start over. Do the whole thing over. Oh man. Let's see. And that's Dulce Maria. That's the thing though, is that a lot of people think that, like, we have to be cognizant when people are transitioning from Christianity into spirituality, to the Kemetic spirituality and African spirituality. We a lot of times think that it's just as easy as getting over Santa Claus, but it's usually not. There are some very deep psychological imprints that a lot of times religion has on people, especially if it's like a very restrictive type religion, which in many ways the religion that Black people are taught are almost in some ways a very fundamentalist type of belief system. That the Bible is inerrant, that it has no errors, and it's inerrant, that is historical, and we hold on to the dogma. And a lot of our, no matter what the Christian denomination is, for Black people is usually something that's very restrictive, the belief system, and that can be very damaging psychologically. And when people actually leave religion, there's guilt, there's shame, there's a feeling, there's guilty for like, I left Jesus, and these psychological issues are a huge issue. So we want to like slap our people around and say, man, wake up, just get over it, But man, a lot of times people can really be dealing with some huge psychological issues that end up bringing on depression and a lot of stuff. So we shouldn't dismiss the ideas, or we shouldn't dismiss when people are feeling a certain negative psychological imprints on themselves when they're moving through these ideas like that. And I know a lot of people just destroy their beliefs, and but put nothing in its place. And I think that is totally unfair. To me, that's spiritual malpractice. That you would destroy somebody's beliefs, but then have nothing else that you can give them, because these ideas that we've had imprinted on us, they're not easy to get over at all. Let's see. What do the three wise men represent? The three kings. So y'all to understand that the three kings actually represent, like, again, that when we're talking about kings, they're always a higher spiritualized individual. Okay, so three kings again are another higher spiritualized individual. But when you translate it into wise men, they're bringing gifts and stuff like that. It obscures the idea, because remember, even some things, some titles that Jesus might have is that he is the king of glory. Okay, but even that title, it has an esoteric meaning. Okay, and glory, the king of glory, the glory is the idea that this is an enlightened being that is now glorified, or higher light, higher being of light. And the king represents the idea of the most evolved human being. Okay, when you're a king on the throne, you are an evolved human being, esoterically speaking. Okay, so all these things, again, they have secret coded language. Okay. Let's see. Dulce Maria says, currently in the transition, and it's sobering to know how challenging it could be to disconnect from the teachings of Jesus, to now growing more connected to spirit personally. Yeah, it is. And it is very challenging. And that's why I said a lot of people, they want to, even, people like yourself, Dulce Maria, you might like want to beat yourself up about the challenge of not being able to get over this stuff. Why can't I get over this? And it is not easy. It is not easy, because you've had it drummed into you. The younger that you started, the more difficult that it is to move through these ideas and get over them. So if you started as a child, raised in these ideas and given the ideas of going to heaven or hell, you got the hell scared into you, basically. So all of that becomes very difficult. Let's see. Question: how do you know Jesus didn't exist? Studying. I don't know how to. It's once you start to study the Kemetic knowledge, you'll see everything that Jesus is. All the characteristics and qualities of Jesus are in Horus, which was a fictional, well, not mythologized representation. Okay. So once you start to connect these dots, it's like even the story of Jesus. We got a story of Jesus that was that he was at 12 years old, he started teaching. Okay. And then Jesus disappeared at age 30. We have all these stories of people want to talk about the difference between Jesus at 12 and 30 and him disappearing in all those years. They're saying that where did Jesus go? Well, he was in Tibet. He was in India. He was in, all of these places. That's complete bullshit. Go back to the Kemetic teachings and you'll find out that at 12 years old, you'll see the horse with the little ponytail. That's representing 12-year-old Horus, okay? And at 12 years old, guess what happens to guys or men at 12 years old? What starts to happen to their voices? The voices start to change. It starts to get deeper. So you start to have a change in your manhood, basically. At 12 years old, Jesus left his parents. He left Mary. At 12 years old, the soul, now ascending, leaves the care of the physical body, the mother, okay? And then reappears as a more developed, spiritualized being at 30, okay? So that's why Jesus was at 12 and then disappeared, and all of a sudden you saw him at 30. It's because there was symbolic representations of this knowledge from ancient Kemet. It wasn't that they just didn't have a story. It was because it represented something. And if you look at it in the numerology, 1 plus 3 equals what? 1 plus 2 equals what? 3, okay? When you add a 0 onto a number, that means that number is now more elevated. So when you add the 1 plus 2 equals 3, then you add the 0, makes it 30. It's a higher spiritualized being or a higher spiritualized idea. So Jesus didn't go somewhere. He never existed, okay? So you go back into Kemet and you will unravel all this. Well, where did he go? Where did he go? He didn't go nowhere. Oh, okay. Hold on. He didn't go anywhere. Proper English, okay? I know that stuff. I do. But I didn't grow up speaking it like that. So I'm gonna speak to y'all the way I speak to y'all, okay? But anyway. So that how do I know he didn't exist? Because I study this shit. I'm in this stuff. So anyway, he didn't exist. So let's see, priest, motivational speaker, gave 1111. Thank you very much, priest. The motivational speaker says, thank you for your teachings. I've been learning a lot from your channel. You appreciate it. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. So yeah, so how did I know he didn't exist? I know, I study. Okay. And that's the same information I'm giving you guys. But there's even still deeper knowledge than that, than what I'm presenting. It's like I'm giving you like the tip of the iceberg stuff, man. And people unravel the stories. Oh, Jesus ain't real, and they just leave it right there. I'm like, no, you got to do something with this. You got to change. We got to change. Okay. So yeah. So man. Let's see. Yeah, Nita May, that's true. Even when you're in the church, you'll feel something. People have that feeling something just ain't right. But then they have it rationalized and educated out of them. Say, oh, you just should believe on faith. Oh, you shouldn't question it. So basically, turn off your rational mind, turn off your intuition, disconnect from your intuition that you know something ain't right, and just believe. No, you got to know. You got to know. So knowing is way above believing. Yep. Been beaten to black people's. Absolutely. It's been beaten to the world's head. People think I'm just crazy because I say Jesus don't exist, but they've never studied anything outside of the freaking Bible. Oh, but there's so many people that say that he exists. They never studied anything outside the Bible either. So they just build bullshit on top of bullshit. That's what they do. Oh, how could all these people say he existed, and then you're saying, dude, go look at the information. That's all I got to say. Plain and simple. You're welcome, LA Clipper Hands the Barber. So I guess somebody, what question did I answer? Let's see. What is the significance of the number 4 in Kemetic teaching? Well, there's a lot of, you got to look at it numerically, but 4 is, you got to think about it. It's like a flat surface, and it's a foundation. So that would be number 4. You can look that up numerically, and it means the same thing because that's where the stuff started. Okay, so number 4 is also a feminine number because it can support. Okay, so it's a feminine number. Odd numbers are masculine, and feminine numbers, even numbers are feminine. All right, odd numbers are volatile, active, proactive. And that's another way you can decipher a lot of this stuff, is you got to understand the numerical value of a lot of the netters and stuff, because that's really the foundation of them. The netters and the mythology is explaining the numerology. Okay. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Going. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Just looking. I'm looking to see if there's any other questions. I don't see any other questions. All right. Let me go back. And moderators, I appreciate y'all putting those questions up there too. So y'all, when I miss them. So thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Let's see. Crystal Turner, what's going on? Let's see here. Okay, just looking. All right. I guess y'all don't have any questions, so we're gonna have a quick night tonight. Is that it? Okay. Andrea Jenkins just sent $70. Merry Christmas to me, then, I guess. Hey, thank you, Andrea. I appreciate you. So she sent that via Cash App. So thank you very much. That was like boom, bam, like wow. Thank you. All right. Let's see. Let's see. People who don't question it and believe the Bible is literal have always made me feel weird. They always have this empty look in their eyes. Yeah, man, you yeah. Be right there with you. Let's see. Yeah, if you y'all interested in joining my class, so start the new year off right. The link is in the description box. So Crystal Turner gave $19.99. Thank you, family. I appreciate that. Definitely appreciate it. But yes, the links are in the links for the class are in the description box. So yeah. Let's see. Let me going back. Y'all quiet tonight. See, what is your question? What is your thoughts on reincarnation? It's more natural than going to hell. I'll tell you that. And the reason why I say that is this, because nature was the Africans' first teacher. So Africans, and this is just over thousands of years, guys. This is it's just observation and simple common sense. And think about it this way, and it makes more sense than somebody going to hell. But Africans will see, just say a flower, and I'll just say a flower, that a flower would grow, okay? In the springtime and summertime, and then in the wintertime, the flower would die. But in the springtime, another flower would come up and grow. Same type of flower. Might not have been the same exact flower, but it was just like the other one. Same type of flower. It grew. So the Africans were like, oh, wait a minute. Life is a cycle. So something grows, then it dies, then it grows, the seed comes back and it grows again. Hello? Okay. Well, if a flower and plants do that, humans are not separate from nature. So why would humans die and never come back? Why would the energy that we are, why would it just like end and never come back again? So it makes more sense that as humans, we would come back at some point too. So we go in cycles just like nature, just like the plants do. It's no different. Okay. So reincarnation makes more sense to me than dying and going to heaven and hell and staying there for eternity. Makes a whole lot more sense. Okay. So Chris Anderson gave $9.99. It says, you mentioned the noon cannot experience. Is this synonymous with the universe? Does the universe feel without experience? Okay, so you're projecting, Chris. You're wanting to project human characteristics onto something that's non-human. So the universe doesn't feel. It's not human. It's not a being in that sense. But the noon is the equivalent of what we would think of as before the Big Bang. Okay, and I'm just using terminology to help you put it into context. But before the Big Bang, the noon existed. In other words, it was infinity. Okay, it was timeless. It was dark. It was so it existed before infinity. Okay, or before there was ever even a universe. Then there was the Big Bang. That's Atum. Boom, the Big Bang. Okay, or no, Atum is actually the desire to exist. Okay, Atum, and then Ra. Boom, Big Bang. Okay, Ra is, what do you call? God, now the not the Ogdoad. So that was in the Ogdoad. No, the Ogdoad was in the infinity or in noon, but all of the 9 netters that make up the underpinning of the entire universe. Okay, is that the no? It's not the Ogdoad. It's God. Now I can't. It's been so long since I even looked at that. So the universe vibrates, but the universe does not have feelings. God is not a human being, is not like a human being. You got to understand, God is every single thing that we could even think of and exist. God is in a thought. God is in a tree. God is in a glass of water. God is in a drop of water. God is. God is in a piece of toilet paper. Everything that exists, God is. Okay? So it's not human. It can't be. Okay? It's something more. We can't even fathom what it is. As soon as we try to think of it and put it into some kind of context, we limit it. And it's unlimited. And this is what the ancients said. We cannot know what God is. What it is hidden. That's where the idea of Amen comes in. Amen actually means the hidden. It's unknown. We can't even comprehend it from a human mind of what it is. So to put it in the context of God has a chosen people and all that stuff, that was ignorant men that was using these ideas to basically put themselves up and elevate themselves and do whatever. Okay. So when I say, so the universe doesn't feel, but it vibrates. We feel and we vibrate. As a matter of fact, our feelings are the human symbolic representation of vibration. Okay. So yeah. So you want to learn more about that? Come on to class. Come on. Let's see. Any Orisha that is linked to Jesus? Yeah. Let's see. So Aisha. Yeah. The who is it? Shango and Heru. So Gus, I believe Shango is like one of his symbols is a lightning bolt. Okay, or the fire. Okay, and it's that boom, that flash of enlightenment. So, and you'll find these same connections in other African systems as well. So even though the Kemetic system is the one that is connected to the Bible, many African systems have the same ideas. They just call them different names. But yeah, the Orishas, it's the same thing. So the Netters and the Orisha are the same thing, but they just have different names. So that's a good question. Good question. Let's see. How do we keep manifesting in other dimensions? Not sure what you mean by that. Not sure what you mean. Because like I want to manifest in this dimension. Okay. But Chris, that was a good question. Thank you for asking. We have a very good question. All right. Who's this? Marantha. See, I'm the Hermetica. In the Hermetica, it says that man can ascend to God's state and never return to earth as a human unless it desires to. What are your thoughts on this? Yeah, see, there, Marantha, is that possible? And Marantha gave $10, so thank you very much. Is that possible? Absolutely. But there are so many different variations or possibilities. And we think in terms of, well, it's got to be this way or that way. And that's not how the universe works. The universe is a paradox, okay? It's this and that. That's what a paradox is this and that, okay? So can somebody elevate to a God state? Yes, that's what we're trying to do. It's here on humans. And it is through our experiences. It is through our pain. It's through all of our human experiences that we elevate. How do we elevate? Okay, that's the question. How do we elevate? So yes, that can happen. But there is no, once you start to get into the idea that there is one way everything's supposed to go, you're probably going off the track real quick. Okay, so your scenario is possible, but it's not the only possibility. So that's what I would say to that. Let's see. Can you briefly explain how Kemetic spirituality began? I have no idea. So spirituality itself is just something. I mean, you think about how natural that it is. It's just something that everybody is. It's our own inner experiences that we are trying to express. That's what spirituality is. Oh, I would say that's what religion and the things that we explain become. We try to explain these spiritual and inner experiences. Religion tries to codify it and makes it dogma, okay, which ends up separating us. But spirituality has been around as long as we could look up at the stars and go, oh my God, that is so beautiful. That's the start of something spiritual, because you're like looking at that in wonder. And then it's like, wow. And you can get this inner feeling of feeling that wonderment and that expansiveness. And that's a spiritual experience. Somebody explains it. Okay. And that's all it is. Religion is acceptance of somebody else's limited spiritual experience. Okay. That's all religion is. Let's see. But where it started at is it started when humanity started. Okay. Yes, they took African spirituality and made it a religion. Absolutely. Empress Queen, the enlightened one. That's exactly what happened. So that's all Christianity is. Christianity is African spirituality that they made dogmatic and they made up doctrines, and understand that a doctrine is simply a theory. Look it up. A doctrine is a theory. And these men theorized about ideas and made them religious ideas. And a lot of these men were psychologically warped around sexuality, around the world. They had these negative ideas about the world and living in the world, and they started making doctrines to basically herd people in a way that they wanted them to do. That's why they basically outlawed sex, because they said, hey, sexuality, if you bring a child into this world, a new soul into this world, you're creating that's a travesty. Don't bring new souls into this world. So you shouldn't have sex. unless you're married. Then you can have a loving sexual relationship and you can bring them in and you can nurture that soul and blah, blah, blah. That's why they say sex outside of a marriage is a sin. But hell, before there was religion, cavemen had sex. Did they sin? I mean, humans lived for hundreds of thousands of years before religion. Did they ever think like, oh man, I shouldn't do that because it's a sin? No. And if you followed the rules that these fools said, humanity would have not existed anymore. We would have become extinct because they wanted us to not have sex. There was some Greek and religious sects that said sex should not be done, period. Don't have it because you might end up having a child. Stupidity is warped. And we don't even question why we've had these things passed down to us, why we believe them, why we have so much guilt around something that is so natural. It is such a strong pull that even with the threat of hell, people still go and have sex outside of marriage and otherwise. Even with the threat of hell, that pull is so strong. You got to think when something is that strong, what they're telling you can't be natural. It cannot be. So we got to consider these ideas and where they come from, guys. That's what I'm saying. Got to consider these ideas and where they come from. Let's see. PN Dub gave $20. Thank you, family. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Sex raises your vibration. Absolutely. Unless you feel guilty about it. Unless you feel shameful about it. Okay? If you feel guilty, you feel shame surrounding sex, it does not raise your vibration. It might in the moment, but then once the act is done and you feel all the guilt, your vibration is forever is taken down. And that's how we end up interpreting a lot of sexual acts. It's through guilt. The depraved people, when it comes to sexuality, they try to bottle up something in their beliefs so long. That's why they go around with pornography and just all of this, the sick stuff that people be dealing with sexually. So it ends up, that energy ends up manifesting, excuse me, that energy ends up manifesting some kind of way. And it usually ends up in some kind of illness, whether it be mental or physical. It ends up in some kind of illness. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's see. No, Adam and Eve never existed either. Henry Jones, absolutely. Never existed. They were symbols as well. Yes, the priests who were not to have sex and then violated young boys is a huge red flag. Yeah, they still, but even with that, Crystal, a lot of times they were practicing some rituals too with these young boys. So there was other stuff behind them but there was other stuff that they were doing with these young boys and a reason why they chose young boys. So, but again, it's just some sick, and it's all around energy, but it's some sick stuff. Sexual energy, yes. Vovive says sexual energy is creative energy. Absolutely. See, my understanding to live is to be in a hellish state. Being in the flesh is pain. We are tasked with defying the ego and mastering the flesh. If we can do it, we can bliss. Well, see, what you're saying there, and I understand what you're saying, and that was Maranatha. I understand what you're saying. But what you're doing, the way that you're stating it, you're putting yourself at odds with being human. Okay? So when you're talking about overcoming an ego, automatically you're putting yourself at odds with your own human mind. So it's not about trying to overcome the ego. It's like we're trying to live in a state where we see parts of ourselves in a negative way. And as soon as you become adversarial to yourself, you're going to have issues. Psychologically, mentally, physically, you're going to have issues. So we got to think in more terms of being a little bit more expanded, where we've had people define for us the ego, the flesh, the body. We've had people negatively define these ideas for us. And we got to look at them a different way. We got to look at them in a way that's going to uplift us, that's going to uplift us vibrationally. And if you got shame and guilt around being physical, you cannot reach the higher states of being. You cannot do it. It doesn't happen because the higher states of being are high vibrational. And if you got the negative stuff that you're dealing with, you're dealing with a lower vibration. There's a schism. There's a separation there. Okay? So we can't continue to define ourselves in a negative way that religious and a lot of spiritual systems will do. We can't continue to do it that way. Let's see. Let's see. Is guilt the cause of STDs? It could be. TIY, it could be. So the guilt can manifest in different ways. So absolutely, that could be a link. I know usually well, no, I won't even get into that. So let's see. Okay. Let's see. How can you find out your lineage without the DNA traps? I do not know the answer to that one. I do not know. So I took a DNA test, so it is what it is. So I try not to live through fears. So I live my life. Vaccination. I needed to go on a cruise. I want to go on a cruise. I got vaccinated. So that kind of stuff, I just don't. We filter so much through our fears that it ends up being a limitation for us. I don't want to live limited. Let's see. All right. Let's see. What are your thoughts on intercultural relationships and marriages? They're fine. So love is love, So no problem with it at all. Let's see. See, I'm just looking, guys, see if there was any other questions. Yeah, that's right, love JJ. Love is love. I mean, it's you can't put a color on love. So who you connect with them. So and I say sisters, the same thing. Connect with who you connect with. So you don't owe connecting with anybody for any reason other than for your happiness. Period. Plain and simple. Empress Delight, I think that I would say that would be true. So that's where the homosexuality stuff comes from Greece and Rome. Yeah, that their ideas of not trying to have children and bringing souls into the world. I would agree that would have something to do with it. It's a logical progression from the way that they think. See, what's your opinion on the Kabbalion? Great book. Love it. Great book. It's more energy than color or culture. Yes, it's more about energy than color and culture. Agreed. That's where that homeless is. Okay, let's see. Yes, I'm vaccinated, Jackson. Jackson, I am. So let's see. What's your be Crystal Turner? Let's see. The church, is there such thing as a holy land? If somebody deems something holy, I guess, but there is no necessarily any land more holy than another, but I know traditionally that people do choose holy lands or whatever. But I mean, we make up stuff a lot of times that it doesn't make sense. Let's see. What about a twin spirit people in other cultures? Not sure what you're asking there, Eugene. Let's see, sex, gender orientation are all different things. Yep. See, how do I define mind and consciousness? Well, mind is the active process of our brain, I guess, creating our thoughts and our reality. And consciousness underpins, or is the intelligence that underpins everything in the universe. So those mind is within consciousness. Consciousness is over everything. Okay. Does Kemetic science weigh in one way or another on regarding homosexuality? Kiaham, not that I've ever seen, but my suspicions with other systems, homosexuality was actually seen as an elevated level of spirituality. Because even within the Kemetic traditions, Atum was actually masculine and feminine, androgynous, androgyny. So if you reach a state of androgyny, then supposedly you're at a higher elevation. So I know in some Native American spiritual systems, a person that was what we call homosexual today, they were venerated. They weren't looked down upon. And I would suspect that in the Kemetic system, it was the same way. Now, of course, I know you're going to hear other Kemetic brothers is going to, hell no, no way. But I mean, to me, it's just, it's a logical thing. And so it's not about what we, and what our culture and how we look at it today. Okay. Let's see. Chris Turner says, do you think being a part of Greek fraternities and sororities is counterproductive when practicing African spirituality? I don't think so necessarily, Crystal. So I don't think necessarily any organization is counterproductive just because you're in the organization. But what's the mentality of the people in it? That's what can be counterproductive. Okay. Our Native Americans called it two spirits. Yeah, exactly, Love JJ. They sure did. See, the Kemetic science weigh in on monogamy. Not that I'm aware of. So, why is darkness always positioned as negative, bad, or evil? Just Aokimi, that's just because of our fears. Because in the Kemetic traditions and the ancient traditions, darkness was just unknown. But guess what? A lot of times we are afraid of the unknown. So that's why it's positioned that way. So just through our fears. I see somebody said good money, questioning money, but I don't see the question. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, on some level they do. They teach esoteric stuff. Empress Queen Delighting One. Yeah, on some level. So since I've been learning from you, my life has been like weed. When negativity rise up, I say fuck it and go about my business. Absolutely. You have control over your attitude. Absolutely. So see, hermaphrodite is part of African culture. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, the vibrations are not necessarily male or female, so it just is. And that's was church mouse. So vibrations are not male or female. This one's okay. Looking. Yeah, El Kimi says, do you think that positioning is projected on dark-skinned people? Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of times, I mean, you think in the United States, all the fears that white people have had are projected onto black people. A lot of, well, not all of them, but a lot of the fears that they have, they project those on, and it's no different than we do to individuals in our family. You know, if there's fears that we have or shortcomings we have, we'll project them onto other people. It's what people do, you know. So as black people, dark became representative of those fears and something negative. That's just the way it is. But it's incumbent upon us to say, no, I'm not going to accept that. Unfortunately, for a lot of us, we do accept these ideas and we start to act and position ourselves accordingly because we accept that crap. We accept the ideas that we're cursed, you know. That's why a lot of times we think that because we're cursed is the reason why black people are in the position that they're in around the world, because of a curse. And that's just not the case. It's because of a type of thinking. Could that be a curse? The type of thinking? Maybe. But not because some God has said, you know what, I'm going to punish y'all, you know, for whatever reason. I don't believe that at all. Let's see. Let's see. Shauna A. Ancient deities are just symbolic representations or personifications of certain ideas. That's all they are. So they don't have any power in the world except what we give them through our mind. Let's see. Yeah, Guru, I'm not sure about the more stuff there, so not sure what you're asking exactly. So let's see. You're welcome, Aokimi. You're most welcome. Yeah, I see you, Aokimi, commenting a lot on the video, so I appreciate your comments and stuff and your input. So definitely appreciate that. And you're in my second favorite city, which is the second favorite city. Dallas is my first. Let's see, curses. Yep, state of mind. Yep. Yep, Austin. I didn't want to call you out there, old Kimi. That's what I was trying not to do. So I didn't want to call you out. Let's see. Thanks. Okay. All right. Well, dang, it's already past 8 o'clock, guys. It's already past 8 o'clock. So we're probably gonna shut this down because don't see any more questions coming up. But I want to thank all you guys for being here. So it'll be 2022 the next time we get together, which will be next week. All right. So happy New Year. You guys be safe and have fun this New Year's Eve. And I will see y'all next year, 2022. Thank you all for being here. So all my moderators, thank you guys for being here tonight. Everybody that gave, thank you again for being, for giving. Appreciate your generosity. So you guys have a great evening, okay? Bye-bye.